What's up YouTube? Have you ever wondered if you could use Gravit Designer to design things online? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. Welcome back to the Ben Designs channel. My name is Ben Nielsen and I'm a media design educator. Today we're here to talk about the program Gravit Designer and to do another Can It Design challenge. Now this is one that wasn't suggested by anyone, it's one that I decided to do. This is unlike the other Can It Design challenges in that Gravit Designer is a program that I've actually used before, so I won't be experiencing it for the very first time. I haven't used it in a while, but it is a free option on the internet, and so I think it's worth exploring on this channel to see the paid programs. Now there is a paid version of Gravit Designer, which I don't think would be very useful for very many people, because once you get into paying for something, it's going to be better to move into something like Affinity Designer or Adobe Illustrator, something where your money is going to go towards a more professional program. But today we're just going to look at Gravit Designer, see if it can design on the free version in the web browser, because this would be really useful for people who maybe are looking for something free and they are a little intimidated by Inkscape, or they're working on something like a Chromebook and they really need something that's going to be web-based. So let's dive in, let's take a look at Gravit Designer and see if it can design. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video so you can learn how to take some of my design basics courses for free. Okay, so here I am on the web interface for Gravit Designer. This is gravit.io, and like I said, I've already used this before a little bit in the past, but I haven't been using it really recently, so I will still be trying to figure some things out as we go here, and I am using the free version, not the pro version. So this is to test out whether the free version works. But here we are on the opening splash screen, and I'm already signed into my account. You do need an account to use it, but you can use a free account. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this in here. It says you can leave it empty for infinite canvas. I'm going to go ahead and just put in 1000 by 1000, and I'm just going to try and create a little design here of a van, of course, that I have sketched out already. Remember that it's really important to always sketch before you design. Doesn't matter what program you're using, you need to sketch first. And I do have a course that you can access for free using the link in the description below that's all about sketching. It doesn't have anything to do with any particular program. It's just about sketching for designers. So let's go ahead and click create. Okay, so now we have our document, and of course we just want to kind of familiarize ourselves with the interface, see what we can do, see what we can do for free. You'll notice these little yellow marks here on some things that say pro. So there's some things that we can't access. Obviously they're trying to get us to upgrade. So let's go ahead and I will try and create my design. I'll start with the van, and it looks like I have shapes here and a pen tool. I'm just going to start with shapes because shapes are critical to the whole kind of thing. So I want to see if I can do a rounded rectangle. So I'm going to draw out a square here and try and round the rectangle. And it looks like most of our details can be handled in this inspector over here. So let's go ahead and grab the corner and drag that like that. Looks like after I drew, it switched back to my pointer tool is what it's calling it. Basically my selection tool automatically. So now I can move that around. To zoom in and out, I hold down Control and scroll instead of Option and scroll. So easy peasy. Let's see if I can do Option and drag to duplicate. I can. I don't need to do that right now. Looks like I can adjust the corners after the fact. So if I wanted to make them a little bit more round, I could. And I can resize, and Option resizes from the center, and Shift keeps proportion. So it's doing pretty much what I would expect it to do. Let's go ahead and duplicate this to make some windows. And this is where we'll see how we can handle the color as well, because I'm going to design this in grayscale. I'm not going to add in color right now, but we don't want these to be the same color. We won't be able to see anything. So it looks like we have fill options over here. So I'm guessing we can add multiple fills similar to the appearance panel in Illustrator. We'll just go ahead and make this a darker gray for now. Select multiple holding Shift and put them in the middle. Okay, let's go ahead and grab an ellipse. We're going to make some tires here. And we want to move this behind. So let's see where our layers are. And then of course we will duplicate it over. Make sure they're centered. Let's do another circle. Just going to try and give this one a stroke. So we've got fill. Looks like they're calling stroke borders here. And you don't start with one. So click the plus to add one, I'm guessing. Yes, and then looks like we can either drag up to increase the size, or we could type in a size. I'm trying to look for the options here to see if I can align it to, yes. So align to center, align to outside, align to inside. So currently it's on the inside. I'm going to align it to the center. Perfecto. And I've just been aligning everything manually, but I do see there are alignment controls up here in the top right. So that's good. And now what I want to do is I'm going to try and duplicate it off canvas. And yeah, so it looks like it will go off canvas. It's still there, but you can't see it. So let me just go ahead and group that together so that we can hopefully find that later in our layers panel if we need it. I always like to duplicate before I start iterating, just because I don't want to mess anything up too much that I can't get back to again. So right now I'm going to try and change the roundness of these corners individually. In order to do that, I'm guessing I need a direct selection tool. So this is called subselect. And yeah, there we go. So we're going to hope it's doing all of them. That's not what I wanted. I want the top to be more round than the bottom. But it doesn't look like I'm maybe allowed to do that. Okay, what I want to see is if I can, yeah, so here's convert to path. I'm going to try doing that. That's one of the reasons that I made a copy, is if I need to get back to this as a shape, it will be really easy. Now I can adjust them individually. Going to each of these points. The problem is I want those to be exact, and I don't see a way to enter in any values for them. So let me see if I can do both of them at the same time. No. So I might just have to eyeball it. That's not, of course, the greatest thing in the world. Not necessarily what you want to have to do, but they're fairly close together. I'm looking to see if there's something. Yeah, so there is an adjustment there. So let's see if we can't. That's 42.2. Okay, looks like you can. So now they should be the same, approximately, and that's pretty good. And now we want to handle the cutting of that exact shape save. I'm going to save that shape off to the side. It would be a lot better if I could see the things that were off canvas, but at least I know they're there. It's certainly lagging, and there is definitely lag zooming in and out. The next thing that we want to do is make the V in the van. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to take circles, and we're going to cut the van apart using these circles. I'm going to turn off the fill here, but I am going to set a border just so I can see it. I need to move this guy up a little bit. Make sure those guys are even so that when we cut it apart, it all works. Select, and then we got to find out how the Pathfinder works on this. Pathfinder operations. Okay, that's for clipping masks. Makes sense. And here's compound shapes. What I want is to split them into multiple pieces, and it doesn't look like we have that option. So I'm going to have to make duplicates in order to make this work, I think. Okay, so Command C, Command V to duplicate. Select this one and choose an intersect. And we want to be able to see that, so let's go ahead and change that. Okay, Command C, Command V, Shift, and intersect. So we've gotten this pretty much put together now for what I was thinking in my sketch. There's a lot more detail we could add, but we're going to leave it like this for now. We now know how to create compound shapes. We know how to do strokes and fills. These are the basics that you would use in like icon design or logo design. So I'm just going to go ahead and work through a couple more things, trying to finish off this design. I want some kind of waves in the background behind it, and then we can move on and we can probably look at color. But I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up so that you don't have to watch me go through every piece of this in real time. Oh, I found something here. This is like in Affinity Designer. When you are in multi-page mode or multi-artboard mode, as it would be like in Affinity Designer or Adobe Illustrator, then you can see things off canvas. Okay, that's perfect. Now I can see them. This is where I'm going to try using the pen tool. Okay, so I've got this design kind of looking the way that I envisioned it on my sketch. And now we're going to go ahead and see what we can do by making another page and then try and add color. What is really killing me here is the lag. The lag is making it difficult, and like I said, that is to be expected when you are dealing with a program that is running in the browser. And you can download a version of Gravit Designer. I'm not sure if you have to pay for that, but I feel like the real benefit of it is being in the browser. It's supposed to run on desktop, on laptop, on iPad, on pretty much anything that has a browser. So let's go ahead and try and make a new page where we can go ahead and add color. I'm not sure why it put it there. You can just see this lag is making it pretty difficult. And it's not my computer. I'm on the M1 iMac, and it can run pretty much anything that I throw at it, so it's not that. It's definitely lagging in the browser. Now, that could be because I'm using Safari, and I'm not sure if it loves Safari, so maybe I should have tried Chrome. That's a thing that might be causing a problem, I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and duplicate this over onto our new page, and let's go ahead and add in some color. Okay, that did not duplicate. Okay, when you're duplicating, make sure that you let go of your mouse before you let go of your option hold. So, okay, let's go ahead and try and see what we can do. I want to see if there's what the color options are. So, it looks like swatches are a pro option. There is a mixer here. So, if I click on swatches, I hope I didn't lose everything. But now we know what the price is. So it looks like they're currently having a sale. So that's probably holiday sale there. And we can get it for $49.99, but normally it'd be $99.99. So even on sale, this is costing just in the realm of Affinity Designer. Let's see what we get though. We get unlimited cloud storage. So that's, that could be good if you're into cloud storage. Export your designs with up to 300 DPI and advanced options. So that tells me we're going to have problems when we try and export this if we want certain types of export. We'll get symbols and styles and CMYK. So sounds like we wouldn't be able to export CMYK for print from the free version. We won't be able to use our system fonts or bring our own fonts. And this is where you can do it offline. So we do not have the option in free, and we can't import existing vector files. Okay, so it looks like I didn't lose it. That's good. We are either going to need to bring in our colors, or we're going to have to just kind of pick our colors, which is not necessarily recommended. Okay, that's what we're going to do. A little bit darker on the inside of the wave. Obviously, the color options without being able to use swatches, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but you can get around that if you really need to. You could bring in your hex codes from something like color.adobe.com and go that route. And the fact that they give us the in use is nice because we can repeat colors. Okay, and there's our van with a wave. So we have definitely been able to design something in Gravit Designer. I really think this would be fine if you were coming in and trying to learn vector art, but I think if you are pretty experienced with vector art already, this is probably going to be a little bit annoying to you. I just want to take a minute to look through some of the other tools that we haven't used already. So we're just going to make a new artboard here, just to have kind of a mess around with this one. And then we'll see what we can export. Okay, so we've got some tools up here that are just like zoom tools, pan tools, snapping tools. So we have snapping options. And then, of course, we have our pointer and our subselect. It looks like we also have a lasso option and a layer select tool. And then a slice tool. Oh, great. I wasn't expecting a slice tool here. So that's pretty good that we actually have a slice tool. That seems like kind of an advanced tool for a program like this. But of course, I guess if they are going to charge people $99 a year, they should be providing some good value for it. Under our shapes, we have lines, rectangles, ellipses, polygons. So I want to see how the polygons work. I want to know if I can do keyboard controls with them. Doesn't look like it. So I must be able to control these from the appearance panel. Yes. From the appearance panel where I have my corners, I can also control my points. So polygon, there's just a straight up triangle and then a star. Similar in scope with the shapes to Illustrator, of course way behind Affinity Designer. Under the pen tool we have that, and then Bezigon, which is Pro, so we won't be able to use that. And then there is the Freehand tool, which is like the pencil tool. We do have a knife and freehand shaping. I'm assuming the knife will let us cut on points or straight across. Okay, so the knife is like a cutting pen tool. Okay, and then there is freehand shaping. That is a very interesting little tool there. Looks like you can do some funny things with it. Let me see. If you draw inside a shape, it will cut it out, but if you draw an overlapping shape, it will add to it. Interesting. It's not a shape builder tool, but it does some interesting things. I'm not quite sure about the use of that. I've never used a tool like that before. There is a text tool. Of course, we know that we won't be able to use our fonts in the free version, so we will be limited to whatever they have here. We can bring in an image from our computer, so we're able to place an image. And then we have flipping and rotating, grouping tools, of course our Pathfinder tools, clipping mask, bringing elements forward and backward, creating a symbol, which I thought it said was Pro, but it's not showing Pro here. So there's that. And convert to a path, which we did, and vectorize the border. So that basically is just like outlining the stroke. And that looks like the sum total of the tools there. I'm assuming if there were other tools, they would be here and just marked Pro if we couldn't use them. Fairly simple. So now we're going to go ahead and try and export this. Just grabbing my hand tool here so I can get over to page 2. We're going to try and export page 2. See what we can get it out of, because it doesn't matter how well you can design anything if you can't export it. So let's go ahead and choose File and choose Export. We don't have access to the advanced export. We can do PNGs, JPEGs, and SVGs and PDFs, but only up to 150 dpi. So we're going to try this as a PNG. It looks like we didn't have any options and it just exported the page that we were on as a PNG. So that wasn't great. So we just got our weird shape. So let's go ahead and select page 2 and we'll try that again. Page 2, File, Export, PNG. So you get no options when you export. It just does it automatically. There's our exported PNG. It looks fine, you know. There's definitely probably some more that we could have done to it, but I think this has been a good test run through. You can definitely create vector art in Gravit Designer. You could even create vector art that you could sell, but it would be hard to do like professional jobs, just given the limitations of the free version. And it would be hard to work quickly given how much it lags and kind of the lack of tools that it has. It has the basic tools, and I think it would be a great place to get started. I would really recommend it for beginners, especially somebody who wants to start learning, but they were really limited to just working on the internet. If they're on something like a Chromebook or kind of a slower, older computer where most of what they do is just get on the internet, then this is probably one of your better options out there. You can definitely learn how to do vector design here. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that you've learned something about Gravit Designer today and have seen that it can design. So there really is no excuse to not start learning how to design, right? Because even if you can't afford to purchase a program, you can use a program like Gravit Designer to start learning to design right now. Of course, there are other free programs out there as well, like Inkscape and Vectorinator, which I've talked about on other videos. So go ahead and check out some of these programs, see which one is right for you, and start learning to design today. Now, of course, remember that I have classes to help you get started learning how to design. My design basics courses are all about the basics of design, and those can be found in Skillshare. I'm going to leave free promo links to those classes in the description of this video so that you can go ahead and take those classes for free and start learning how to design.